And we are live. Hello. Okay. Yep. Totally unscheduled. Totally unplanned. But we wanted to hop on here just because I'm like flying high right now after all that. I mean,
That was epic.
it was
Epic.
wonderful. It was storytelling at its finest. I mean, you really can't get any better than what we just saw there.
No, absolutely not.
I
I personally would have preferred Cody to win it in September, but
I know you wanted him to win it in Madison Square Garden.
I did. I was
Right.
a let's break Hogan's record because you're never gonna have another opportunity like that. And to me, it was more of like if you look at how the NFL treats their history,
Yeah.
there there's the NFL and then there's the NFL once the Super Bowl starts.
Right.
And I figured, you can kind of break the company up into two parts. You can break it up, Vince Senior, WrestleMania,
Right.
and
Yeah, definitely.
to make Roman the longest reigning champ of the WrestleMania era. I thought that was an opportunity you couldn't pass up, but I get it. I get it. You got to give people what they want sometimes. You got to send them home happy.
You know what? I started thinking that maybe they weren't going to care so much about the Hogan thing anymore when they started hyping up how much like, Roman tonight is the most WrestleMania main events, like beating Hogan, with 9 WrestleMania main events. So I mean, and that's going to be end counting because that ain't his last one. So
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I do think we're not going to see him for a while, and we shouldn't.
No,
we shouldn't. He needs to go learn. He got to go learn a new hold.
Was it? Yeah, Cody needs room to breathe.
Yes,
room to breathe. You got to assume the Gunther train is heading straight for him.
Totally. Now that they freed him up, 100%, 100%. The Gunther train's coming for him.
We need time to miss Roman.
Yes.
The rest of the bloodline. I know. If you ever needed proof, I don't mean to knock him, but if you ever need proof that an AEW match does not work outside of AEW, it was the Usos.
Oh my God! Right, with the super kick. That was like I legitimately was like, I never want to see either Uso ever again. Like I was just so disgusted with that match.
That was shindy-rific.
It was awful. It was so bad. 15 super kicks. Come on. And like the crowd was dead. I mean, look, the Usos are no stranger to the handcuffs because of all the DUIs. But I mean, they should have been arrested for murder last night for murdering that crowd.
Bro.
Like for real.
I think I guess maybe they came back again for the end, which is all you really want. But getting there was.
I didn't even like seeing them at the end. When they started fighting at the end, I was like, just get them out of here. Just go away. Like, I mean, look.
I'm fascinated to see what happens because I'm pretty sure they signed Jacob Fatu. I thought they signed Tama Tonga.
I believe they did. I remember hearing that they signed him, and I was like, oh well, toughest man in the universe. Haku, his kids are probably going to be as well. Then again, we've seen how toughness isn't hereditary with Hook, but I'm willing to bet that Haku ain't raising a Hook.
Listen, just because Hook got all the J-pop genes and less of the badass judo doesn't mean that.
Yes. There was none of the Red Hook section of Brooklyn, New York in that boy. Thank you, Danny and Oak Park, by the way. Thank you for the super chat. Okay.
Hook is beating up all the boy bands.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness. So let's not talk about. Let's not sour the discussion with AEW talk. But like here's the thing. Before the run-in started, look, we all knew it was going to be run-in central. We all knew it was going to be like 9 run-ins. All that was going to happen. We all knew that was going on. But before that, we had one hell of a wrestling match.
Dude, tremendous. One of my favorite things about Roman since he became the tribal chief is it's very simple storytelling,
very and effective. Hold on, Dose is here. Evil Dose, my friend.
What is up, everyone? What's going on? Apollo?
Are you still flying high after the events of tonight?
Yeah, no way I was going to sleep. Don't tell anyone, but I was planning to call in sick tomorrow anyway.
No, don't worry. Only 47 people just Just so you say that. Yeah, it says 47 right there.
Well, it's
All right.
47. The website,
Yeah,
47,000.
They don't know where you work. It's fine. But yeah, so I mean, we had a hell of a wrestling match before the run-in started. I mean, like, they were really good. I like the crowd brawling, kind of brought me back to the Attitude Era. It was just good. It was just damn good. And then, you had Jimmy run in, and when I saw they were running in one at a time, I was like, okay, all right, now I see where this is going. I have one thing that I'm disappointed in, literally one thing, and it is only a purely personal preference thing. Man, when The Rock was in the ring after he bumped Cena, I was like, here it comes. Yep. I was waiting for it because that's The Rock's final boss is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Like that is the glass breaks and you hear the glass and it's your ass. Like and I've been calling it. I said they're going to be Cena and there's going to be The Rock. They're both coming out. But I cannot be upset about The Undertaker. Teleporting in, doing what he had to do, and then teleporting out.
Even though we saw him when Cody went to go get the table.
Did we really?
Yeah,
was he under there?
He was under there.
Oh, no. I didn't even notice that.
But,
God damn it.
It doesn't get better than the actual final boss showing up to handle business.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, Austin it's just my personal preference. I just would love to have seen Stone Cold Steve. I wanted to see The Rock take a stunner and do the Rock sell of the stunner.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes.
And
I think we all
so yeah, absolutely. And so after after last night, when the Rock pinned Cody, I was like, okay, he's gotta win, right? Like he has to win this match because if he doesn't, last night at the end of night one, that was the moment where the hero is at his lowest. Like that's the moment in the story where it's like, okay, we've hit that moment where everybody's at their lowest, and now the hero has to rise up. This is all right. Captain America is down. The shield has been broken, and he's standing up. And now we're getting we're waiting for the Anya left, and that's what this was. I mean, last year you had a situation where this man was alone against insurmountable odds, and the insurmountable odds conquered him. This year he's not alone. He has backup from like every era of WWE at this point.
Yes, and every babyface who was screwed by Roman over the last 3 years, with the exception of Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Braun Strowman. And Brock. Well, we didn't get Brock either.
Yeah, last year was
Infinity
War. Last year was Infinity War. This year was Endgame.
Yes, exactly. That's a great way of putting it.
Now, I don't know how Triple H is going to top this next year. Good luck, sir.
I mean, look, this is a 10th anniversary. They always try to pull out all this stuff. I just did that video comparing 1, 10, 20, and 30, and I noticed similarities. 10 always ends with the babyface workhorse champion, the guy that like the fans have dubbed their guy. You had Brett, and then you had Benoit and Eddie, and then you had Daniel Bryan. No, Eddie Guerrero. Don't worry, just Eddie Guerrero.
Rey Mysterio at the end of WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero hugging himself. But yeah, so they're doing it again, and each time this led into a new era. WrestleMania 1 leads us into the Hulkamania era. WrestleMania 10 leads us into the new generation. WrestleMania 20 led us into like the Cena era, and WrestleMania 30 led us into what we've been experiencing, the modern era, what I like to call the social media era. When Vince discovered Twitter and was like, everything's a hashtag now.
Get out of my gym, on.
Exactly. Why is there a Pikachu on my Stairmaster? What's a Pikachu?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is taking us into what I guess what some people are calling the Paul Levesque era. Some people are calling it the Renaissance era. Hold on, we got one. Colin Taylor, thank you very much. Told my neighbor Evil Dose is calling in sick tomorrow, but don't worry, he doesn't speak English. So I believe he lives in Japan. So you better hope.
Come by.
There you go. I didn't know you were bilingual. I knew you were bi something, but I didn't know bilingual.
I'll buy that for $1.
Hey, you know who had a really crappy night? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins did not have a good night. I mean, he came out in his when he came out for his entrance, I thought he was actually coming out. He looked like Gandalf the Gay. And And then he got in the just, you know, him and Drew had a great match. I loved that match. I thought it was fantastic. And I thought the right guy won. And then the cash in happened. And I loved the cash in and hated that I loved the cash in.
Listen, dude, I think that the story that they're building with Drew and Punk will probably be, you know, the world title headliner next year.
Oh, totally.
It's going to burn the house down. I love this Drew McIntyre. I love the shit talker. I've kind of had it here. I don't care if I'm a good guy or a bad guy. I'm just kind of doing what I want. And I hate CM Punk. He's the internet troll who happens to be able to wrestle, who's instead of tweeting out their hatred for Phil, is taking it out on him on TV.
Yes, but did you notice that he tweeted during the match when he took the phone from his wife?
I popped for it.
He took the phone from his wife and he tweeted out, boring day at the office, boring day at work, LOL. Like, in the middle of the match. That's trolling on a whole new level. It's amazing. So, you know, I said I wanted Truth and Drew to come out of this show, you know, with belts, and they did. Well, I mean, they won belts in the show. They didn't both walk out with them. So now Priest, I mean, we know Priest, he used to wrestle back up in the Northeast. He was Punisher Martinez. He was in Ring of Honor. Kev, did you ever get the chance to like share a locker room with him, work with him, anything like that?
Super nice guy. Remember, he was almost in the show for me that we had to cancel at the last second. But he's always been a super nice guy. It really.
How did it feel for you to see just a nice guy in the wrestling business actually like get a big moment like that?
And here's the thing, indie workers, you know, he did his tryouts and he got some very specific feedback. He listened, he got signed, he's a champion.
At WrestleMania.
At Wrestle effing Mania, going over Drew McIntyre, one of the biggest stars of the modern era. I know sometimes
and he did not. I remember seeing Punisher Martinez on shows, and he did not look like that. Like you know,
he was a tall, dumpy dude with a terrible tan.
Yeah, he did not look like a guy that I was like, oh, that guy's going to go to the WWE someday.
I thought he might. Back then, when I used to see him on Ring of Honor and Luchasaurus was not ruined, I used to think that maybe between the two of them, they could replace the Undertaker. But I love
it would take the two of them, though.
Exactly. I thought it was the perfect cash-in, mostly because it's exactly how I booked it to be. And literally to Punk taking off his brace and hitting Drew over the head with it. So I'm thrilled with it. And Drew got his moment, but his moment got ruined again by Punk. But assuming the Punk is not fully healthy, now he's got plenty of gripes with Priest and his group. So he's going to have to do his own chasing to get there. I'm not sure that him against Punk is in SummerSlam, but if Punk's not healthy enough, if that's the main event next year for WrestleMania, I mean, unless it's just too long, awesome.
Look, I know it's so early to be calling it for next year's WrestleMania, but if they can wait on Cody Rock, then it'll be Cody Rock. Either that or that's SummerSlam.
I think you're getting Rock Roman. I think we're gonna see the winding down of the Bloodline story. Because listen, at some point in time, we are going to have to address the elephant in the room. The Rock completely and totally overshadowed Roman.
Totally.
The most important guy for the last 4 years operating on God mode. And legit, for any Roman hater has not a thing to complain about other than griping about how he didn't defend the title a lot.
Right. 30, I think it was like 1,000 days and like 31 defenses.
But I'm more for Roman transformed himself into an attraction.
He did.
He didn't have to wrestle every Monday, or every Friday.
Well, sir, for a gentleman named Apollo, you should know that there are gods and there are gods, and every Apollo has his Zeus.
Zeus, yes. Yeah. So, well, that's it. And I know The Rock is really having a hard time letting go of Black Adam when you look at his intro.
Oh, I know.
But
Shazam!
But clearly, the most important person in the room was The Rock, whether he intended it or not. So, you're gonna have to give that back to Roman. That friction is gonna have to pop up.
Yeah.
And I don't, why not pay it off at WrestleMania? It's the match that everybody kind of wants to see, but doesn't want to admit that they want to see. So let's just do it.
I mean, we also have a built-in Seth Rollins heel turn here. We really do. I mean, it is, I gave you everything and I lost everything and you gained everything.
Yes. I really thought it was coming tonight. I tell you,
when they shook hands at the end, when he reached through and reached at his hand, I thought Seth was going to slap him in the face.
I thought Seth was going to cost him the match.
You noticed that Seth reblonded in between matches.
Yes.
I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
Yeah, so that's a guarantee. The story's right there. I mean, I think that both Seth and Becky are going to take some time off. How much time, I'm not sure, but
maybe go make another baby. This time on purpose.
Right, like Seth's got injuries. He's got the dude has been the very definition of a workhorse. So it's to heal up. Listen, the WWE is in a great position that they haven't really been in a while, where they have so many main eventers. They have so many people who are top tier that you can afford to have someone go away for a little bit, and it's not going to create a vacuum. And we're not even looking at like the guys who are like on the cusp, like they're second tier. But if you give them the right thing, they're going to take off like a rocket. Like specifically Nakamura. Right, what Hunter's done with Nakamura, essentially revitalizing him after Vince destroyed him. All Nakamura, all he needs is one good feud, and he's back to being main event level.
Well, but Ricochet, they've been booking him. I mean, Braun Strowman might be coming back. I know a lot of people don't really care for Braun, but he's a monster. And what about all the rumors of?
I love Braun Strowman, by the way, for the record. I love that guy.
And what about Bo Dallas, rumored to be coming back as Uncle Howdy with a Wyatt Six thing? I mean,
yes.
I mean, you have a Dungeon of Doom, but written by people who are like not desperate and crazy.
Oh boy, it's not hot. Cody in the Dungeon of Doom
and hug Hogan to death. The Hulkster like Charmin tissue paper, and he doesn't like hugs.
There ain't no Yetis allowed in my restaurant, brother.
Wait. Charmin tissue paper is a thing of the past. Don't you understand that we are now sponsored by Dude Wipes?
Oh yeah, no, when the Yeti makes his return, he'll be covered in Dude Wipes.
There's no such thing. Flushable wipes, brother.
Listen, if you drink enough Prime and you eat enough Slim Jims, you're going to need those Dude Wipes. It's all made sense.
Just don't believe the hype about flushable wipes. That is one very expensive plumber's bill that you will have.
There's a method to everything. And by the way, for those of us who are in committed relationships that no longer need our little rubber friends, it can be used for other purposes as well.
What?
I
mean, I know what I get what you're talking about, but I don't understand the relevance to the situation here.
Well, you're a fabricated person, so of course you wouldn't.
Right. I'm also not a sailor, so I don't use them.
Okay,
I'm not a sailor. Yeah.
What is
it? I don't understand what just happened here. Dose brought us to a weird place.
Is this the 18th century where you were about sailing? Listen, people who get
it. It was a line from Austin Powers that I just gloriously stole. When she's like, "Did you use a condom?" And he's like, "No, I ain't a sailor, baby."
Excellent.
Oh boy. You know what? I would like to point something out though from the chat. Hold on, let me look for it. James Smith here says worst WrestleMania ever, and I wanted to point out. That's valid. That is a valid argument, okay? Because it's his opinion. It is an opinion. Not everything is for everyone, and that's fine.
I understand it because look at what happened. Night one, with the exception of one match, night one was clearly these are the stories we need to tell because we have two nights.
Yes.
Night two was this is everything I've put all of my energy into booking for the past year. So when you roll into night one, fine. Like the matches were like Becky and Rhea was awesome.
Right.
The big three versus Damage Control, very cool. I felt bad for Naomi because her entrance, you got pretty much told you're not important enough. Make room for Bianca.
Yeah,
but I mean, come on, that's she wasn't important enough. You
can't spell out your whole name. It's not interesting. They should just ditch that. Go back to the glow. It's good.
You followed your toddler of a friend out the door, so now you're just going to be the third person in this match, okay?
When you should feel bad about it wasn't the entrance, is when they were flexing, and she was trying to flex too.
Oh, that would
be like me flexing next to you. I mean, that's just silly.
It's and I think it's like, then let's point to Bailey and be like, look, you followed your toddler of a friend out the door, and now you've got to start from the ground up. But here's somebody else who followed your same toddler of a friend in laying on the floor and throwing a baby tantrum, and look where she is now. So just give it some time, Naomi.
So night one was completely and totally devoid of emotional payoff for a lot of people. It just felt like
except for Sammy. Sammy was Sammy had a moment.
So night one really felt like I'm just watching a bunch of good matches, with the exception of the super kick party.
You don't think Cody losing was emotion? It was sad emotion. It was disappointment emotion, but that counts as emotion.
I don't count the main event in that, because that was the conclusion of story 1A. Like we were setting for the ending. Everything else was just kind of like, oh yeah. We've got to get Rhea. We've got to get Rhea a title match. We've got to do something with the rest of Damage Control. Oh crap, we kind of forgot about Bianca since we split Bailey out of away from Damage Control.
Right. Yeah.
Like it was a lot of like, oh yeah, we got to get these folks in. So it's you're watching, and again, there wasn't really anything bad about it, but versus Triple H's WrestleMania last year, both nights were high energy, high enthusiasm. Maybe because it was his first at bat, and he had made so many positive changes to the way the stories were going. You couldn't kind of help but be swept up in it. But night two was definitely the stronger of the grabbing people's interest and wanting to take you on a ride.
Yeah, there were a couple other things about night two that were better. The pacing. I mean, they really learned their lessons from the long introductions, and commentary was not constantly talking about the weather. And I know the difference was only 4 degrees. Maybe the wind wasn't as strong, but hell, man, this is Philadelphia.
Yes.
We have a football team there where you go outside. I know a lot of people fly in, but not all those people flew in from Florida and Arizona either.
Right. Now, I literally was screaming at the TV last night, telling Michael Cole to sack the hell up, because I was so tired of hearing Michael Cole talk about how cold he was. I'm like, get a friggin' space heater, put it under the desk, shut up, and call the match. I don't care.
I do find it interesting. I mean, I guess they did kind of sort of learn a lesson, because they did build the special ring. The ring was heated to try to keep the guys.
Was it really?
Yeah. They built a special heated ring.
What kind of Hanna-Barbera villain contraption was that?
Well, after they did, when they were in Jersey, because it was effing freezing in Jersey,
right?
They realized that if they're going to come to the Northeast, they have to at least find a way to protect the wrestlers a little bit. So they built a special heated ring. I think it took them like 3.5 years, 4 years to figure it out.
Why? Why did they just have Kane do it?
I know, right? So
just do it. Just every match is an Inferno match tonight. Michael Cole can be nice and warm by the fire.
So it's like, to me, I'm like, that's super interesting. We should be talking about that. But I get it. Listen, the wind sucked. It was miserable up here yesterday. I can only imagine how much worse it was in that damn stadium. Especially once the wind started kicking in. I get it. I just kind of laugh. I'm like, guys, if you're gonna come to the Northeast and do WrestleMania, you've got to do this at least a week later. Just go.
Also, the Northeast needs to stop building domes on their stadiums, please.
That's a whole other, right? Anybody who was a New Yorker or New Jersey, and we watched 3 teams build 3 stadiums in less than 5 years, and no one put an effing dome on anything.
Right. By the way,
wait
Colin Taylor, thank you. Evil Dose is showing some marketing prowess. Think it's time for me and him to cash in on my internet fame and start Honest Collins Discount Fantasy and Factory irregular Holy Book distributors. That's some Ric Flair level marketing there.
I'm in. Whatever it is, I'm in. It's like Ocean's 11 right now. I'm in all the way.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. Ric Flair, fake money. Come on down. Just give me real money, and I'll give you fake money.
Listen, I need to get on the bottom of some new crypto, so why not? It can be Honest Collins crypto.
Woo coin.
I mean, the only thing wrong with the Ponzi scheme is I've never been on the bottom of one.
Right. Ric Flair, cash for blood. Give me your blood, and I'll give you more Ric Flair fake money. I don't know what I'm going to do with your blood, but listen, I got to give my ex-wife something.
I have so many ex-wives.
Man, I owe them so much money. Well, Ricky, you gonna get a prenup on this marriage? No, this is love. This is love. I'm in love. This is forever, happily ever after. Woo!
Listen, Ric Flair learned a lesson that I learned about 10 years ago.
Ric Flair has never learned a lesson.
Some degree of peace, and that is that there's no law that says you have to die solvent.
That's very true. That is very true. I'm trying to think of like another thing that I thought. How about that Bailey Io match being amazing?
That was awesome.
I was just like, this is the evolved form of women's wrestling. This is what it was. This is what it was always headed to be. This and last year's, Becky and Charlotte match. I mean, that is just perfection. Not Becky, Rhea and Charlotte.
Rhea and Charlotte. Oh my god, that was like my favorite women's match. Maybe
it won the Slammy for match of the year, right?
As it should. Though I will say I have a soft spot on my heart for Asuka against Nia Jax on a Raw, and I'll tell you why. It's because I never could picture how one of the literal women could beat Nia Jax, and she showed me exactly how every female wrestler should attack Nia Jax to make it look believable. And I was like, damn, this woman she right then and there. I'm like, she's absolutely one of the best of all time.
Well, yeah. Have you ever watched the way she worked? She worked big, mean, nasty men in Japan who beat the living hell out of her. So
if your question is ever, did you watch in Japan? It's not like Dr. Death, Steve Williams and the Road Warriors and Terry Gordy. The answer is no. The answer is, did you watch Kenny Omega and Okada in Japan? No. The answer is no.
Look, I don't watch a lot from Japan either, but
I did see Daryl with his fabricated cat.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of Japan stuff either. However, I did see the I did somebody sent it to me because it was like, oh my god, look at Asuka getting the crap kicked out of her by this guy. And it was vicious. So yeah, she was pretty hardcore back in the day. It was one of those like, trying to prove yourself kind of situations. I've known many of them.
I just saw Minoru Suzuki beat a Maki Ito at indie show over the weekend, and that was great.
Oh, our friend Awful Wrestling is here. Awful, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
I'm doing good. How drunk are you? There's your answer.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
A 10-second laugh is all the answer that you got.
Seth Rollins is joining us every now and then. The architect, the visionary.
Right. Oh my goodness. Oh man. But yeah, so the Bailey Io match was amazing. I thought that LA Knight had a really good showing against AJ. Gosh, I mean, even the six man
was fabulous.
Yes, the triple threat was great. Even the 6-man, the match that I was like, meh, I just don't care about this. They managed to get me back into it by putting Bubba Ray Dudley in it.
By throwing Bully in it, you managed to help some people kind of. I don't understand. No, I take it back. Karrion Kross is still not recovered from being forced to wear that dumb Centurion helmet.
Right.
But I'm like, it kind of breaks my heart that he isn't over yet. He's getting.
I like how you said "yet" as though like there's a potential for it at some point.
It does for me. So I joke with Kevin Castle that this was the battle of our romances because he loves Karrion Kross and they're actually friends in real life. But I've had a long-standing bromance with Bobby Lashley, and I no way thought that Lashley and his crew was gonna win this thing. I thought they were gonna break up. I noticed immediately that the DFAT came out with Lashley and not with the Profits, but then I'm like, oh, they're all in matching outfits. What's up with this? And I don't understand why Cross isn't over either. He's got the girl, he's got the music, he's got those two hosses behind him now. Ellering is just, frankly, he looks like your Meltzer. The Meltzer's, well, not the Meltzer, Meltzer.
Yeah, he looks like Dave Schmeltzer. He looks like Dave Schmeltzer.
Cast member Dave Schmeltzer. As soon as they told me Bubba Ray Dudley was going to be the special ref, I would have changed my pick at that moment, which is, and it would have been fun to promote him and Snoop Dogg. I don't know why you don't. I guess you feel like you don't need to at WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania. You don't need to. It's not selling a single other ticket. Like, it's just like a fun surprise that you get there. At this point at WrestleMania, I'm like, okay, Snoop Dogg's gonna be there. Like, right. It's just kind of like, how about Triple H having to come out to go, welcome to WrestleMania, so that we can replace it in every video package with Vince saying it.
I popped for the throwback intro with the one from the early '80s when it was like the Coliseum, the Coliseum Titan Sports knockoff where they went to the Constellations. I'm like, that's super cool. I'm like, that's a super throwback.
Yes, sure. I was half expecting him to throw it to his lordship, Lord Alfred Hayes, and be like, promotional consideration is paid for by the following. I threw a Lord Alfred Hayes line in like the last Face Lock feature that I did because I was talking about WrestleMania 1 and everybody was like, oh my God, your Lord Alfred Hayes is like spot on. And I was like, that is a voice that I never knew that I could do until I tried to do it.
We should bring back evil Lord Alfred Hayes.
Evil Lord, hold on. Ric Flair goes into marriages like Bullwinkle doing a magic trick. Thank you, Colin. But yeah, what was evil Lord Alfred Hayes?
Way back when we would go out to eat after shows,
right?
And people who could do the Lord Alfred Hayes voice would start saying the most despicable things. And reflectors, Lord Al Hayes here, and he would just say awful, terrible things. Just having
That's
fun.
Pretty good.
Mr. Apollo, I assume you won't be tipping tonight.
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff. Evil Lord Alfred Hayes. I kind of love that. That's the most random thing of all time. Just Lord Alfred Hayes just being like a horrendous, like racist, sexist. Like, that's amazing.
Well, evil dose approves of evil Lord Alfred Hayes.
Let me give you my drink order, darling. Hold on, write it down because I don't think you have the brain power to remember it. You are a woman after all. Oh my God.
They looked right at the kitchen, did they?
Oh, I just want to make sure that my chicken wings won't be prepared by a Mexican. Yeah, that's right. I went there on the night that a Puerto Rican won the World Heavyweight title. I went there. Sorry,
two Puerto Ricans.
Two Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, black guys think alike.
Oh man, so besides the Uso match, which obviously I hated, gosh, I mean, I did not like that Rey Mysterio tag match. It was not what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, listen, that turned into we have to jam the celebrity guest into it match instead of letting it be the entirety of the LWO versus the entirety of Legado plus in
Andrade. Like some crazy lucha scramble match. That's what I was expecting.
I guess maybe they thought because of the tag match, but I'm like, yeah, you should have just gone for it. You should have just given us a straight up AAA lucha insanity where like there's just someone running in and out of the ring until the match just suddenly stops.
Right.
Maybe no issue with that match. I thought it was fine. I don't know what they were going to. If they weren't going to do a turn where somebody was turning on Ray, it was fine. And I mean, and I
thought that's where we were going. I was like, oh wow, okay, so Dragon Lee was 100% attacked by Carlito or Andrade, and I was like waiting for it the whole time, and it didn't happen. So those two guys came out, and Awful told me that they were sports ball players, and I took his word for it because I have no idea. That is what football is a thing that I do not follow. Never have, never will.
The Eagles, and they were big luchadors. And that was the funny thing is that the luchadors with the skin tone of mayonnaise, which I can say that because I have the same skin tone.
Who the hell? I said, who the hell are these gringos when they came in the ring?
Well, one is Travis Kelce's brother, Jason Kelce, and
okay.
Travis Kelce is Mr. Taylor Swift. So, and the other one I think his name is Lane Johnson, and whatever. They're big Viking guys who are like big, strong, bear-looking guys but they're like not overly, like.
When I saw how they when I saw how they dwarfed all the wrestlers, I was like, yeah, they're getting in the back, and Triple H is going to be like, so how much longer you got on your NFL deal, huh?
Well, Jason Kelce, I think, retired, but they're both O linemen, so they're supposed to be huge.
I mean, yeah, they were big. They were big boys. And they did what needed to be done. I'm trying to think of what else from last night. It just kind of like didn't hit for me. I didn't like that. Oh, I hated the ladder match. I was like, okay, I was happy with the outcome. Did not like how we got there. It just did not hit for me. Except for when they had that indie moment where like the ladder was breaking.
Yeah.
Only like it's WWE and not the indie, so they actually had another ladder instead of doing the indie show special where they have to keep using the broken ladder.
Where the referee has to now hold the ladder in place.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to make mention.
Populated with, putting DIY and New Catch Republic in there was, basically almost.
They did not have to be there. Yeah. Awful. What were you going to say?
I was just going to make mention to you guys that I have a cousin who's a super casual. Like, he hasn't seen wrestling in years. He is transfixed to the screen tonight. Not so much last night, but he is such a recovering fan, because WrestleMania tonight on night 2 was absolutely phenomenal, and he enjoyed it a lot. And he does not watch a lot of wrestling, so there's the difference right there. I mean, WrestleMania has the ability to pull in non-fans and just lightly casual fans into the product. It's phenomenal.
Well, I think
it's also storytelling and being universal, right? Storytelling, there's a reason why everybody's girlfriend suddenly loved Marvel once we got towards Infinity War, because of the stories. It was because it's storytelling, and that's it doesn't matter that they were comic books. It doesn't matter that it's pro wrestling. It's just a compelling good versus evil story, and you got into it.
Right. He doesn't know too many people, and he knows now. He knows Gunther. Now he knows Sami Zayn. Now he knows these guys who I'm telling you, it's just phenomenal the way that the WWE is able to bring those people in. It's crazy.
May I give an example of one of our famous smarks, who this is in a little tongue in cheek, but Brian Alvarez, who's trying to do Mystery Science Theater half the time tonight, though, he's also showing appreciation where he likes it. At some point he goes, she just asked him what's Bloodline Rules, as if they didn't already have a Bloodline Rules match on TV a few weeks ago. And I'm like, first of all, I think our friend Phil at PWT said that's because Bloodline Rules are whatever the Bloodline wants them to be, so they can change, which I'm not sure if that's exactly right or not, but I answered, it's that, but it's really because of what people like Brian don't understand. It's for the 17 million other people who are watching WrestleMania tonight, who don't watch wrestling on a regular basis. There's something that the Figure 4 or Wrestling Observer Online has denied exists: the casual audience. So when it comes in and shows that 22 million people watch Saturday night and 24 million people watch Sunday night, those are 19 million people who don't watch Raw or SmackDown. And
I watched last night from a buddy's house, and I watched tonight from at home. But we watched last night at my friend's house, and it was full of some of his other friends who have never watched wrestling, who were watching last night. And that's a lot of what the audience of WrestleMania is. And that's how people like Kat Dennings suddenly become fans of wrestling for 24 hours until the AEW fans terrify her into never mentioning it publicly again.
Kat, you're always welcome on this show.
What was that?
Kat's always welcome on this show.
Oh yeah, no, those are actually no, it's not. I hate Two Broke Girls. I think that is the worst. That is the worst show that has ever existed. I'm sorry.
Naughty Monster.
No, every episode is the exact same thing. Pretentious. Whiny. Cupcakes. Dryly delivered inappropriate sex joke.
There goes my dream of Kat Dennings on the show. Thanks a lot.
Eastern European inappropriate sex joke. Set up for short joke. Dryly delivered short joke. Other inappropriate sex joke.
All right, back to Molly Holly
Credits.
and Girl on Cinema.
I'm sorry, that show is butt. That show is a pile of butts.
It didn't last too long either.
No, and it lasted a lot longer than it should have. No, I think it hit syndication. Didn't it hit syndication? Didn't it get 100 episodes?
Yes. Yes, if you put it on TNT at the wrong time.
Yes. Whitney Cummings might not have made it in her on-camera career, but that show made her money. So
yeah. That show and Mom were both on for a very long time, and I don't think
Mike and Molly
either in their actual time slots.
And yeah, Mike and Molly too. That was another one that I was like, wow, where did this come from? It's been around for like a million years.
Ooh. And Mike and Molly always came on right after Ring of Honor on Sinclair, so it's like I always call like the first 5 minutes. I'm like, should I watch it? I'm like, yeah.
Mike and Molly, I was having the same problem I used to have with Roseanne, where it's like there's this couple here, and I'm trying to not imagine them having sex because it's just utterly disturbing to me. Like, how does
you know what would help with that? Dude wipes.
Dude wipes. Yes. Way to bring things back full circle.
I'm just trying to get sponsors.
We got to get him as a sponsor.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned the sponsors because look, last year when it was like, okay, we have one like match from like Mountain Dew, I was like, yeah, who cares? This is fine. You know, cool. You got it. This year, holy hell. Every match had a friggin' sponsor. And it was like, you know, like LA Knight coming out in the Slim Jim car. And, you know, look, I'm glad that Macho Man's wife is still getting a check from those people. But man, the sponsorships were just kind of out of control.
As long as his brother gets nothing, Lanny Poffo, you're still my enemy, even in hell.
I'm pretty sure he's dead. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting nothing.
Even in hell. And did you see that couple that won the car? What the hell are they gonna do with that car?
No, yeah, they were like super old.
Right.
They're gonna like you still gotta pay taxes on that.
I mean, they were from like Wilkes-Barre or Wheeling, West Virginia, something. But what the hell are they going to do with that, like Tokyo Drift for sports car? It says Slim
They'll
Jim.
sell it. They'll sell it, or they'll auction it off.
People forget that when you win a prize, the government also wins a prize because you have to pay taxes on the prize.
You know what happens half the time, and you're right about this, and this doesn't change that. But a lot of times the company will just offer to give you what they say the fair market value of the vehicle is, and yes, you still have to pay taxes on that. But,
yes, yeah. Well, it's easier to pay taxes out of the cash settlement than to have to pay them and then sell the car.
Damn right it is.
Yeah. So yeah, the sponsorships were a little out of control, I thought. Hey, how about the statement of "No America the Beautiful"? Like, screw you, old man. You and your American song are gone from here.
Yeah, they did it tonight.
Well, they gave us a different American song. I mean, you know, the stuff
here to sing "This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land." Tank top, gay face. Whatever, like, you know, whatever random pop star that I don't recognize is.
Right. I didn't know who a lot of those celebrities were. I knew George Kittle, and I've heard the name Vanessa Hudgens, so I don't know what she does. But the other people, I didn't know any of them.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat had mentioned, you know, the R-rated type of atmosphere that was going on. There was a lot of cursing going on up until like the very end.
Even from Mama Rhodes.
Right.
Like The Rock is just trapped in an F-bomb loop. He cannot make sentences that don't involve at least 3 of them.
Whenever The Rock, like, I think gets lost, instead of saying or he just says fuck. Like,
well, can you have a hostile workplace environment when the entire goal of your profession is hostility?
Well, look, and you know what? At the end of the day, also, like, people complain about The Rock's language. I'm like, why would you want The Rock and not have him be The Rock?
Right.
Like, why would you want Pete? Look, I am thrilled that we got the final boss dropping F-bombs and making Cody bleed and not getting like, when The Rock points, this side of the arena is going to say tribal and this side's going to say queef. Tribal, queef. Like that's what we would have gotten if we had gotten The Rock versus Roman. It would have been when The Rock says wrestle, you say mania. Like, I don't want that anymore.
Right. Rudy who?
Right.
Rudy who?
Look, Rock came back and he reinvented it. People like to say that, like, oh, Chris Jericho reinvents himself. No, Chris Jericho didn't reinvent himself. Chris Jericho has a new catchphrase. Like, The Rock actually came out there and reinvented himself.
Right.
I think Nick Khan said the quote The Rock said to him was like, Nick, what if I became the greatest villain of all time? And I think he did.
Well,
he did. And then
once with DC, and they said no, and he said to Nick Khan, and he said yes.
Yes. Can I be Black Adam? Yeah, why not?
Sure. Can I be Superman? No.
Is there any way that we can bring in Henry Cavill to be Superman? Can we cast Henry Cavill as John Cena, please?
Oh my God, that would have been so good if instead of the Undertaker, Henry Cavill flew in as Superman.
Colin Taylor says The Rock is a dirty word. See and say, yeah. Could you? Yeah, that is very true. He is.
You know who's not drunk? Colin, because the dollar amounts keep going down lower, so he's not drunk.
That's true.
Colin, we need you to drink up.
Drink a little bit more. Yeah.
Follow Awful's example.
Don't follow Awful's example. You'll die.
Yeah. Just leave us in your will.
All right, we are pulling up on midnight, and my arm really hurts. So I think it's time for us to end this little chat we had here, just kind of impromptu. We'll be talking more in depth on Toonie Talk Wrestling on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We'll all be here. Of course, we'll also have disciplinary committee, a couple other guys joining us that night. So for all of us here at Toonie Town Wrestling, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!